Hey everybody. I know y'all thought I wasn't coming because I'm a little bit late, but it's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, especially in my world. So I've been a little bit behind. Seemed like all day long I've been a little bit behind. Like behind all day long. Anywho, so earlier last night, late last night, I did a video about breaking cycles, like breaking trauma cycles, just breaking cycles, period, in your life um that don't match up with you and who you are, your greater good, your positive, your motivation, like you going further. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm finding that people are in like so many negative cycles. I'm sorry, baby, I'm not accepting people to the live right now, but people are in so many different like negative cycles. And so they are before I do all of that, so I'm on live on my TikTok too. So I'm on live on Facebook, Instagram, or not Instagram, Facebook and YouTube, but then I'm on live on the TikTok too. So if y'all hear me or see me looking that way, I'm looking at TikTok. But either way, I'm finding that people are in all of these different cycles in their life, and then they're trapped and they're not able to not just succeed, but they're not even able to go through everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's making it hard for people to go through everyday life. So I wanted to kind of break down what cycles were and how you become more aware of trauma cycles or just negative cycles in your life. Because sometimes it's not trauma, sometimes it's just negative cycles that you have accepted or you have become used to. So you gravitate or you hold on to them or they make you feel comfortable. So you stay in that place. So before all of that, you have to understand kind of like what a cycle is. So a cycle could be something positive that you're going through. By saying something positive, meaning like it could be like every day you wake up and you tell your kids you love them. That's a positive cycle. Or you every day you wake up and you pray. That's a positive cycle. Where you meditate, whichever one you do. You know what I'm saying? Whichever one it is. So that's a positive cycle. But a negative cycle could be accepting a relationship, and it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a relationship with your family member, like your parent or something like that. But accepting a negative relationship and that relationship changing your mood, changing the way you feel, changing the way you think, changing the way like your movement goes every single day. And making you feel like this isn't right, but I'm still going to accept it. So you're in a cycle. It's like you want to break it, but you can't break it, or you don't know how to break it. So we're going to break it down. Most cycles start from trauma. They start from something that you went through when you were young or something that you went through when you were older. And the cycle could be, it's like me, I have a trauma cycle. I don't like people following me in cars. I don't like people following me in cars because I was hit in the back before. So me being hit in the back of a car before, I'm sorry, babe, I'm gonna accept people to the live in a minute. Um, Me being hit in the back of a car before make me uncomfortable when people are driving behind me, especially like when they driving behind me like really close. I get really nervous. My body start like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And that's because it's trauma for me because I've been in an accident. So it's a cycle. So every time somebody is close behind me, I want to switch lanes. And if I can't switch lanes, I'm feeling nervous. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be aware of what your cycles are. And sometimes cycles go much deeper than that. Sometimes cycles go into spaces where, for instance, you could have had a abusive parent growing up. Your parent may have beat you, or they may have abused you. Because I'm sorry, some people get abused when they're young and they make it out, but they still hold on to those traumas. They still hold on to like the pain of being abused um talked to wrongly or disrespected or put down, and they still have that negative mindset. They still have that trauma where somebody starts yelling at them, they kind of cringe or they get upset, or even like when that parent is around them, they don't know, they turn into a child. So you got a 40-something-year-old man who was abused by his mother, and then when his mother comes around, he turns into that same abused child. And that happens, but you have to become more aware of those cycles. The only way for you to release the cycles is to know, like, this is a cycle. This is something that keeps happening over and over again. Or if you a female or a male, because males get abused too. I know females don't believe they do, but males get abused too. But you keep accepting abusive people in your life. Like, you just keep accepting people who are going to abuse you. And you don't know why, but it's like every time you meet somebody, you like them, you see the warning signs, and then here come the abuse. Or here come the point where they're talking to you negatively or putting you down or keeping you stuck in the situation. You have to become more aware of the cycles in your life. Some ways to like become more aware is really like meditation. Focus, like, okay, is this a cycle in my life? Is this something that I'm repeating over and over again? Journal. And I know like some people don't like to journal. That's not the thing that they like to do. They don't like to write things down. So record it. Ask yourself the questions like, is this something normal? Is it normal for me to allow or accept someone to come into my life and to abuse me or use me or control me? Is this normal? And you can 100% ask yourself those questions and um be able to become more aware of those cycles. So cycles are like patterns. They're like, you go to the store every day and you buy the same bag of chips or a couple of bag of chips. You do this every single day. Or it could be every day you come home and you cuss your wife out or you cuss your girlfriend out. Or when you feel like you're in a similar situation or you see similarities in people, you start to run or you start to get frustrated or you start to feel a certain kind of way. So you want to become more aware of or more conscious of those different kind of cycles in your life. So self-reflection, educating yourself definitely on what cycles are. I know people don't like counseling and they don't like coaching sometimes, but I promise y'all, I believe that everybody to some degree needs counseling and coaching. Like to some degree, whichever one you want to do. If you like a counselor, fine. If you like a coach, fine. But I believe at some degree you need that because that person can definitely help you figure out what cycles are in your life. Because even though we know the cycles in our life, we know that we keep accepting negative relationships, or we know that we keep hurting ourselves or harming ourselves, or we keep putting ourselves in bad predicaments when it comes to money. Even though we see the cycles, it's still like, I can't stop this. Like, how do I stop this? We find ourselves getting frustrated with ourselves because we don't know how to break the cycles. We see them, we're aware of them, but we can't change them. So that's kind of like with educating yourself or self-reflection, talking to yourself properly, telling yourself like, yes, this is a cycle. This is a cycle. When I want to change something about myself, I'll tell myself it every time, like every day I'll say, I'm going to change this. I am going to change this. And I'll go from I'm going to change to I'm changing this. I'm changing this. I'm changing the fact that I like to eat peanut butter. And this is just an example. I like to eat peanut butter and jelly every night because it make me gain weight. And then I want to cry about my stomach fat. But, and that's just an example. You know what I'm saying? So in order for you to change the cycle, you have to become aware of the cycle. Of course, meditation and prayer is a good way to become aware of your cycles. Me meditating, sitting by myself, to myself, and learning myself helps me learn who I am. It helps me get this thought pattern of when I'm meditating, I'm like, it's completely quiet, or maybe I have some music on, but I'm learning who I am, what I'm accepting. I'm thinking about things that happened during the week. I'm thinking about things that happened during the month. What could I have done differently? Was that a cycle? Is that trauma? And I'm asking myself those questions. And it's easier said than done, especially when it comes to meditation, because I know for some, meditation is hard, but sometimes you have to quiet yourself to learn yourself. The hardest thing for people to do is to be by themselves. And really think about it. It's really trauma that we can't be by ourselves because we feel like we always have to be with somebody or somebody has to be around us or it has to be something to that effect, but it doesn't. You need to get to yourself by yourself so you can learn yourself. It's good to have moments where there's nobody around and it's just you and it's just quiet. A lot of times people will come to my house and they will say, "Your house is too quiet. I have to go." My house is quiet because I have to reflect on who I am on a daily because I'm putting my energy out into the world and I'm saying I'm my motivation. I'm motivating people to change. I'm a mindset coach. But at the same time, I have to learn that I have to fix me first. I have to start breaking cycles. So I told a lot of my clients, I said, this year, for the rest of the year, we're breaking cycles. We're not going in circles with different things anymore. We're not going in circles with different relationships, whether it's family relationship, whether it's romantic relationship, it doesn't matter. It's okay to end things. It's okay to say, you know what? I love you. I care about you. I appreciate you, but I'm done. It is completely okay to say that. And I think that we struggle with that because we have hearts, because we genuinely love people and we don't want to separate from them. But sometimes, in order to break a cycle, you have to separate. You have to remove yourself from the situation, from the place. If you have to leave a state and you could just say, okay, I have to leave this state because if I continue to be in this state, I'm going to continue to what? Sell drugs, drink, whatever it is that you do. I'm going to continue to do these things. I have to go somewhere where I don't know anybody and I don't have the same access to different things in order for me to create a new me or a true you. Because sometimes you become like survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest is like a cycle. You live in a certain area, you grow up in that certain area, so you fall into those same things. Some people don't, but some people do. And then they sit and they contemplate day after day after day, like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be this person in the streets. I don't want to be this person that is has no dreams, no hope, no nothing. I don't want to be this person, but I'm struggling to move forward. I'm struggling to leave this space. So we have to learn that it's okay to separate. It's scary. When you start removing cycles from your life, it's scary because you hold on to those cycles because those cycles make you feel comfortable. They make you feel good. I'm used to holding on to this cycle. It's 100% scary. It's change is scary. Saying like I'm over it, I'm done, I'm gonna move forward and is scary because you don't know what to expect. But holding on to that cycle, I know what to expect. I know that I'm going to have a woman that's gonna cuss me out, or I know my boyfriend and me, we're gonna argue and we're gonna fuss and we're gonna fight, and this is what we're gonna do because we love each other. That's a cycle, it's a trauma bond. It is a trauma bond. I know that every time my mom come around, I'm gonna get scared, and I don't understand why. Because your mom was abusive to you, or your dad was abusive to you. I know that it's gonna be hard for me to release this. They are cycles. So if something is not feeding your soul, if it's not for your greater good, then why are you holding on to it? I ask this question all the time. What makes you hold on to negative things? And ask yourself, like, write it down. I tell people, take a little index card and whatever the question is of the week, you got a question of the week. What makes me stay in this relationship? And put it up on your wall or your mirror, especially if it's not feeding your greater good. If it's not doing that, then every day ask yourself, what makes me, and start to think about it. You will become more conscious of the things that you do when you see them, when you ask yourself the question, when you see the question, you'll start thinking like, I don't know. I don't know. Why do I continue to live in this state when nothing is happening for me? I'm continuing to go to the same corner and I'm hanging with the same people who not doing anything or they have no dreams, no goals, no hope, no nothing. Why do I keep doing this? Ask yourself those questions. And it's not to say anything negative about the people that you're around. It's to say that I want to break these cycles. I want to release this. Like, I no longer want to be like this. I no longer want to accept negativity in my life, but I want to accept something positive in my life. It's not easy. I'm not going to tell you that breaking the cycle is easy because it's hard. It's hard trying to transition and be a different person. Be a person that no longer believes in everything. Like, you have to forget everything that you were ever taught by your mama, by your aunties, by your cousins, by whoever. You have to forget it, and you have to decide, like, what are your values? What are your morals? What are your truths? Is this a cycle? Is this a cycle? Do I want to stay in this place? I had to learn for myself what cycles were. And still, sometimes I find myself in cycles like, wait a minute, hold on. This is becoming a cycle. No, we're not going to do this. I got to let this go. No matter what it is. Because we have repetitive cycles in our life. We don't have just one cycle. We have repetitive cycles. Whether it be every weekend, you're going to go get a bottle. But at the same time, you saying you want to work out and you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is. Breaking cycles are not easy. But becoming aware of them is where the easy part is. Because you can talk to yourself and ask yourself, what are the cycles in my life that are not creating a positive path for me? That are not giving me a positive vibe, as we say? Who are the people in my life that I need to remove, or I need to remove myself from? I would say situations, as far as like where you live, is more easier than removing people from your life. Because we want to hold on to everybody, because we love everybody. But sometimes you have to realize, like, people don't love you the same way you love them. They literally don't. They don't love you the same way you love them. They don't respect you the same way you respect them. They don't appreciate you the same way. They're not looking out for your greater good as you're looking out for their greater good. So we have to change it. That means being comfortable enough with yourself to say, okay. For instance, I told someone this the other night. We were talking about relationships, and I told them, I said, I would rather cry every night, sad and depressed, than to be in a relationship where I'm not happy. I would literally rather do that. I would rather walk away from someone, because relationships seem to be the most toxic cycles at this moment in time. And I'm not going to blame relationship toxicity on music. I'm going to blame a lot of it on what we accept. Because we accept the negativity. We think it's cute. We think it's okay. We think it's natural. We think it's normal. And it's not. It's completely not. Having a toxic relationship with your mother or your father or your siblings is not normal. It may feel normal because you've been doing it for so long, but it's not normal. You have to figure out, why do we have this toxic relationship? Why do my siblings and I fight like cats and dogs? Don't say to other people, like, I've heard people say, like, I don't like my sister. I don't like my brother. I don't talk to this person. I don't talk to that person in a family. But why? What is the negative cycle? What is the cycle that keeps going on and on and on and on? And do I have to release this person? And it's okay to release family members. It's okay to say, I love you, but I cannot be around you. It is okay to say that. What is the cycle within yourself? I know y'all want to join, and I want y'all to join, but not yet. Not yet. What is the cycle within yourself? If you're an alcoholic, I used to be like a heavy drinker. Every time I turned around, I was in a picture with a red cup or some kind of cup or some kind of something. And I started thinking to myself, like, why you always got a cup? Every picture I took, I was in a picture with a cup. Like every picture, it did not make any sense. So I had to check myself, like, why you be drinking so much? Like, what is the situation? What is the issue as to why you drink so much? So I had to change it. I realized that it was a cycle, and I realized that I need to change it. I deleted every picture off my social media where I was in the picture with a cup. That was the first thing that I did because I wasn't accepting that. So, in order for you to break a cycle, you have to become aware of it, and then you have to say, I'm not going to accept this cycle in my life because you have a choice. You literally have a choice of what cycles you want to accept in your life. Me drinking excessively was not a good cycle. It was not a good cycle. It was not helping my body. It was not helping my spirit. It was not helping my soul. It wasn't doing anything for me. So it was a cycle I needed to break. Me, another cycle that I had was I am sweet, but I am mean at the same time. So me being sweet and me being mean at the same time, I had to realize like why I'm being mean. Because one minute I'll be so sweet. I'm a Gemini too, so that's a whole nother thing. But at the same time, I would be really sweet to some people, but then really mean to some people. And I had to figure like, why am I being mean to them? Because I saw similarities in them that I went through trauma. But I had to recognize, like, wait a minute, that person didn't do anything to me. Like that person literally did not do nothing to me. So why am I being mean to them? It was somebody else who did something to me, but because I see a similarity in them, now I'm flipping it onto them. It was a cycle. So the easiest thing for you to do is to become aware of your cycle. Meditation, prayer, educating yourself, get a counselor, get a coach. Because going through things and fighting patterns is not easy to do alone. I know some people may think it's easy to do alone, but it's not easy to do alone because you have to ask yourself when you're self reflecting, am I being honest with myself? Like, am I being honest or am I coddling myself? Because sometimes we coddle ourselves. We're not honest with who we are all the time. And when you think about it in reality, you know, I'm not always honest with myself. Sometimes I justify why I do what I do. It's almost like I had a conversation with someone. I said to them, they were saying that the man that they was with was abusive. It was like, oh, he always beating on me. He always beating on me. He always beating on me. We always fighting this, that, and the other. And so I said, oh, okay. So I said, well, I'm just playing devil's advocate and I just want to know. So he's always beating on you, but what are you doing when he's beating on you? Well, that's not important. Yes, it is very important. It's very important for me to know what it is. I'm not making an excuse for him abusing you. What I'm asking is what you're doing. Well, we get into an argument and then I hit him and there we go. There we go. So that's why y'all both are fighting. No, it's not right for men to hit women, but it's not right for women to hit men either. It's not right for anybody to put their hands on anybody. But at the same time, you have to check yourself and see like what cycles are you bringing? Because we bring cycles to people too. So if you met that man and that man wasn't abusing women before you, but now all of a sudden he's abusing you and you're used to being in abusive relationships, you have to check yourself. It's a cycle. But the hardest thing for us to do is check ourselves. Everybody want to check everybody else, but nobody want to sit in a quiet room by themselves and check themselves. For no time, for no period. When they start getting too quiet, people start getting uncomfortable. They start fidgeting. They start looking around like, who here? Nobody not there. It's just you. It's you dealing with you. And that's okay. That is completely okay because that's how you stop cycles. Getting into a quiet space, learning who you truly are, and dealing with the uglies of the uglies. Because you may be cute on the outside, but you're probably ugly in the inside. Because I'm telling you, I was so ugly in the inside when I realized who I really was. And in order for me to change things, I had to realize like I was ugly. I was ugly. Not nobody else, not nothing nobody else did to me. Yes, I've been in abusive relationships. Yes, I've been the abuser. Yes, I had a strange relationship with my mom for years, but not because of her. It was me. I want to do what I want to do. And she want to tell me the right thing to do, but I still want to do what I want to do. I'm still that way. I still want to do what I want to do. But the thing is I had to realize who I was. And I had to start accepting me and changing me. You cannot control anybody else. So whatever cycle somebody else has, you can't go to them like, oh, well, you got a cycle. Because how are you contributing to that cycle? You can only change you. And I don't know how many times I say that over and over again. You cannot change anybody else. You can only change yourself. Exactly. I had to take the time to find myself. And that's what we have an issue with. And that's why we have so many cycles that are going around and around and around in people's lives because we don't take the time to find out who we truly are. We don't take the time to find out what is for our greater good and what is not for our greater good. Yes, you might love that woman. You've been with her for 20 years, and for 20 years, y'all been tussling and fighting. That is a cycle. It's time for somebody to be strong enough and say, it's time to go. Yes, you may love your siblings and you may want to have a great relationship with them. And guess what? They may not want to have a great relationship with you. Yes, you love your homeboys, you love your homegirls. They like to go out every weekend. They like to party, they like to drink, they like to spend money. They don't have no direction, but you fighting in the inside because you want to have a direction. You want to go somewhere. You have dreams, you have aspirations. You want movement in your life. So guess what? You have to separate yourself. And when you start breaking cycles, people are not going to be happy with you. Because guess what? They still holding on to their cycles. But you have to keep pushing. You have to keep going. You have to forget about everything and everyone, and you have to focus on yourself. Because you can, and exactly, you have to humble yourself. Like you literally have to say enough is enough. I'm going to change me. Y'all don't want to change? Fine. I think I told the story before and I remember, like to the T. I remember I was in a club and we was sitting at the bar and all of us was drinking and we was laughing and we was talking and just something came over me. And I said, I'm gonna change my life. Everybody who was with me was laughing. Like literally everybody was laughing. They was like, what? I said, I'm gonna change my life. I was like, I'm not gonna be drinking no more. I'm not gonna smoke no more. I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna just chill. I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna become somebody else or something else or do something else with myself. Right. Positive and negative vibes. Everybody was laughing. And then when I started the transition, oh, they was like, you really trying to change it? Yes. I wanted something else for me. I started to focus on me and where the areas I needed to change and I needed to grow. And I needed to break cycles. I needed to break cycles because I believe in generational curses. So if I didn't break the cycle, then that cycle was going to carry on to my children. And that's not going to happen. So you have to learn what cycles need to break in your life, like which ones you need to tear down. And that comes from digging deep, being honest, reflecting, humbling yourself, making a choice. I like all of that. You have to find that, like, and I was just about to say that peace. People always tell me, like, Masha, you so peaceful. Like, you just look at peace. I'm at peace because I just focus on me. Everybody can do whatever they want to do. I'm not judging them. I don't care. Do what you want to do. But I'm at peace. You want to go jump off the bridge and fall in the water? Okay, listen, that's not a good idea. But it's your choice. It's your choice. Life is about choices. And you cannot make them for anybody else. You have to make them for yourself. And you have to decide what it is that you truly want. And having a small circle. My circle is very small. It's nobody. It's just me. I'm just it's very small. It's very few people that I talk to. I'm not a talkative person anyway, but it's very small. Sometimes you have to tighten up. I'm a person that believes that words have power. Like what people say, what you tell people, I believe that words have power. So in the moments that you are expressing to somebody about your change and they're in the background being negative, saying, oh, such and such said they finna change, they ain't gonna change their life. I believe that is powerful. I believe that is a spell. So there's a lot of things that people will think like when you're going through your transition, when you're changing a cycle, they thinking like you being sneaky, but you're not being sneaky. What you're doing is deciding that I want to change it. It ain't nobody else's business. It's nobody else's business. It's you transitioning. It's you changing. It's you deciding like, I want to be somebody different. I didn't tell nobody a lot of stuff about me. A lot of stuff. I just went through it. I just did it. I just stayed quiet. I got to myself. I had a mentor. I talked to my mentor, and that was it. Because that time, that was the only person providing me positive. Only person. That was the only person helping me break these different cycles in my life. Yes, choices we make. So definitely get you a mentor, get you a counselor, get you a coach. If you're trying to break cycles, you gotta get with that person. And that has to become your best friend. You can't always go to your old friends or your family members or anything because they used to you being one person. They used to you being this person who might, for example, go out all the time, party, pop pills, whatever, whatever. And then you start deciding, like, I want to change, I want to do something different. So they still used to that person. That's all they see. But somebody who doesn't know you, they see that you want to change. They see that you want to transition. They see that you want to break cycles. And that's what it's about. So you have to grab hold to somebody who doesn't know you, who doesn't know anything about you, but that's going to motivate you and encourage you to do better. And that's how you break those deep, deep cycles. Positive vibes will do it. You always put it exactly. Always. Always put God first. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what happens. Always. I promise you, I trusted in God, the universe, like everything. I know I didn't have nobody to talk to. My mentor, that's it. Other than that, I didn't have nobody. And you're gonna lose people along the way. When you start breaking cycles, you're gonna lose people. I lost some of the dearest people to my heart. I mean, like dearest to where it's times where I still cry, like, dang, I cannot believe that person turned their back on me. I can't believe that person said that about me during my transitional time. I can't, like, I couldn't, I was amazed. I was, I was amazed. I'm telling you, when you start to break cycles, when you start to remove those trauma bonds and all of that kind of stuff, it's going to be lonely. And I'm telling you now, it's going to be lonely. That's how you know that you're doing, quote unquote, your shadow work. That's how you know that you're doing it right. Because you get into a space to where you only have like 2 or 3 friends, and you may only have one, but it's okay. It is okay. I'm telling you, it's okay. No, you're not going to go to the same places. They're not going to be fun to you no more. It's not fun to me anymore to go to a club. It's not fun to me anymore to get so drunk that I'm falling over. It's not, and I'm not saying anything negative. And I know people like, oh, well, how do you have fun? You take trips. You take trips. You go different places. You learn different things. You meet different people. It's other things to do in life. There are other things to do in life. You have the ability to change you. Create a path for you. Focus on you. I know, like, for the last couple of years, a lot of people been self-love, self-love, self-love. I personally don't think nobody learned nothing about self-love. And I can tell by the things that we still do and the things that we still hold on to. We talk about it, it's cute, but at the same time, that deep inside stuff, don't nobody want to do that for real. Everybody is, you want to be comfortable, but breaking cycles is uncomfortable. It's going to put you in an uncomfortable space. It's going to put you in an uncomfortable mindset where you feel like, should I be doing this? Is this okay? Yes. Yes. It's okay. And yes, you should be doing it because that's how you're going to create a better you. That's how you're going to break cycles for your children if you have them, whether you have them or you don't have them. If I continued on being the same person I was before I had my children to into having my children, I don't know where they would be or what they would be doing. It definitely is. It's a lot of work and a lot of ugly crying, breaking cycles. It is. Snot bubbles, everything. Looking crazy, frustrated, and not frustrated with anyone per se, but frustrated with yourself. Because you started to really reflect on who you are and what you've been accepting in your life. You start thinking like, I'm tripping. Like, I'm tripping. Literally, I say that so much. Like, I cannot believe I allowed that. I cannot believe I sat back and allowed someone to treat me like that or talk to me like that. I can't believe I sat back at that job and allowed that job to hold me down like that, because cycles be in jobs too. We stay comfortable at a job for years, 20 years, 25 years, not making no money, nothing, and just stay there and hang out because we comfortable. Because our homeboy worked, our homegirl. No, no. You have to see yourself higher. We have to learn to see ourselves higher. In this day and age, everybody is like down, the bills, this and this and that, all this other stuff is happening around us. And I know a lot of people are struggling. But let me tell y'all something. It's a lot of jobs out there. Yeah, they done tricked you and they done change words and stuff like that. But you get with somebody who understand the language of all these jobs. Some of them you don't even need. People don't want to work now. They hire people at just a high school diploma making $60,000 a year. It's just the wording has changed. And it's just the fact that we're stuck in this cycle where we just keep doing the same old thing over and over again, believing that we're not going to be able to, nobody's going to help us, nobody's going to hire us, no. You have to see yourself higher. Like, you literally have to see yourself lifted. I'm not this person. I'm somebody else. I don't want to live like this. I want to live in a different manner. Tell yourself that. Believe it. Nobody can believe anything for you. You have to believe it for yourself. Because if you don't believe it, then it's not going to work. If you don't think you could change your cycles, you don't think you could change who you are, you don't think you could be a better person, you don't think that you can remove yourself from negative situations, negative relationships, whatever, then that's where you're going to stay stuck. They have a song, and I thought about this, and I don't know why it's coming to my head, but it's the song Love Don't Live Here Anymore. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. And if you don't love yourself enough to say that I want better and I'm better than this, how can you love somebody else? There is no possible way. Stop accepting mediocre. Stop accepting the cycles, the negative cycles in your life, the negative people, the negative situations, the job. You are not deemed to that area in life. You can break cycles. You can change. No, it's not easy. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's an everyday thing. Yes, it's a long journey. It took me 10 years to get to this point. 10 years. That's a long time. That is a long time. 10 years, moved a state, came back a state, was in an abusive relationship, had to move a state again, came back a state, homeless, sleeping on people's floor. Like, come on now. Come on. And I'm not saying if I can do it, you can do it. I'm saying you could do it. I'm saying you can do it. Don't worry about what I did. Do what you're going to do. And you can do it. You can do it. Get with some positive people. Yeah, they might be a little nerdy. They might not do the same things that your old friends did. Get with them positive people. Get with some people who are educated about the system, about how you can move up in a job. Talk to those people. Bug them. So what? They getting irritated? That's their job. That's their job. I wanted to switch my position. I was in HR every single day. I know that lady was tired of me. I don't care. This is what you're supposed to do. You work in HR, right? I need to know how I can get out of here. I need to know how I can break this cycle of being stuck in what we call the trenches. I need to know how I can buy a house. I need to know what my credit like. We got to break cycles. We cannot continue to be like this. We cannot continue to live in a space where we are just going in circles. Because that's what we're doing right now. We're going in circles. We all frustrated. We all saying, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I'm tired. I can't do this. I can't do that. There are other avenues, literally. Break cycles. Reflect on yourself. On yourself. You can only control you. Literally, you can only control you. You can't control nobody else around you. Nobody else around you. Break the cycles. So I'm not gonna hold y'all because I talk all night all night about cycles and break the cycles. Next thing you know, everybody be trying to join the live because I'll be trying to help you find a new job, all that. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I know I was supposed to do a different podcast. I was supposed to do the break the cycles later, but my podcast canceled. So I'm Zip My Motivation on every platform, Instagram, TikTok, everything. It don't matter. Facebook, Demasha Katrina, Coach Demasha Katrina, on Instagram, Facebook. Just look for me. I'm the same. Coach Demasha Katrina or Zip My Motivation. One of the two, you'll find me. Listen to the podcast. Listen to my podcast. It's on every platform. iHeartRadio, Apple Music, everything. It's on every platform. Listen to some of the old podcasts, and you will really get to see me during the struggle, because I started my podcast during my struggle. It's what helped me break cycles. Speaking to other people or speaking about my situations. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I respect y'all. Appreciate yourself. Love yourself. Respect yourself. The only way for you to break cycles is to be aware that this is a cycle. The only way for you to change is to love yourself enough to say, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be this person. I'm not going to allow this in my life. When it comes to relationships, and this is for the young people, don't allow videos, artists, all that. They do that stuff for entertainment. It's not cute to have your baby daddy, baby mama dropping, busting your windows out. Drama is not cute. Being toxic is not cute. That's not cute. Only thing it does is it keep you stagnant. It keep you stuck in a place to where you cannot get out. Learn who you are, truly are, and then love that person enough to grow. There is hope. There is peace. There is love. There is learning. There is a way out of the trenches. You don't have to be homeless. You don't have to be stagnant. You don't have to be none of that. Life is about choices. Just choose properly. And then if you need support, you find that support. I don't care if you have to go to somebody and you have to be transparent. I have no money. People have come to me plenty of times and they said, I don't have no money, but I need a coach. Those same people, when they got what they needed, backtrack and said, you know what, Mr. Marshall, here you go. You never know who's going to help you. Sometimes you just have to be transparent and you have to open your mouth and speak. The hardest thing for us to do, and I'm talking about us, this color, is to talk. We'll talk about negativity, but we won't talk about growth. We won't talk about support. We won't talk about what it is that we really need. And sometimes we need someone to tell us it's going to be okay. And you can do this. And I'm telling y'all, you can do it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I don't know how to turn both of these off at the same time because I'm on TikTok and I'm on the Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. But like I said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You're right. Life is about choices. I can do all things with God. Exactly. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to learn how to turn this thing off. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, follow. Negativity has an ear. That's right. Negativity does have an ear. When you talking negative, people cool with it. When you start talking positive, they don't want to hear it. When you start changing and transforming, they start walking away from you. They start saying you acting funny, you being different, all that. None of that. You're not doing none of that. What you're doing is you finding yourself. You finding your peace and you finding your strength and you finding the ability to go further. Everybody say the sky's the limit. I tell people ain't no limits. And I'm country, so y'all know ain't no limits. There's no limits. You limit yourself when you don't believe in yourself. So we're going to end it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all again. Y'all go follow me. Get in the inbox if you got more questions, need to understand something. But we breaking cycles all the rest of this year and all next year. We breaking cycles. We're going to be 2026. We're going to be off the chain because we're going to be brand new. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Good night.